Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I bring a greetings to you. It's another beautiful day. Day 6 of our liberation journey. Liberating mind, limitation, negativity. We're going every day. For all returning subscribers, as many people that are always with me when I'm live, as many that see the video after we finish, as many people that have reached out to us, feedback about the books, about what we are doing. We say thank you to everybody. Yesterday was awesome. Today is going to be amazing again. We talked chapter 7, 8 yesterday. Today let's go further. We move to chapter 9 of the book. We review it again. As usual, will not take much of our time. We go straight to the business. So good day, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of our live reading and review of the book called Poverty of the Mind. That's the title. If you have been following this journey from day 1, you will notice something important. You must have seen some changes, some positivity challenging your thought. I know it must have been giving you some clarity. And each chapter of the book, not just to inform, not just one of those content out there I told you before. This one is to remove layers, blockade, some invisible barriers that have been blocking a lot of people's path. And today in chapter 9, going to start with a confrontation question that most people are uncomfortable asking. A lot of people don't like to ask the question, maybe because of the other people are going to feel. A lot of people don't like them to ask them such questions, but it doesn't matter because this is liberation. We are not pampering everybody. We are only doing what is best for everybody and the generation to come. Who benefits from your limitation is to whose advantage? Yours or another person? Who is going to benefit from it? From your own thinking? Small. Who are the people or who exactly is benefiting from it? The question is very unusual question, right? Because poverty of the mind is not accidental. It is often useful, just not to the person carrying it. To the person carrying it, the benefit of such thing to such people is negativity, limitation. But it never stops at that. Who again is benefiting from this? Sometimes the children, the generation, your environment. So let's move on. Poverty of the mind is not always self-created. I mentioned that yesterday. A lot of people have been affected because of where they have been given birth to, what they have been taught, what they have been. You'll understand. If you have not seen yesterday's video, please go and watch it. We deal a lot with that yesterday. And this chapter 9 begins by clarifying some critical questions, some critical situation. This is the focus of the chapter 9 of the book. Yes, individuals must take responsibility for their growth. But not all limiting beliefs are self-generated. I said that yesterday. Many are designed, encouraged, or rewarded. So this chapter 9 of the book states it clearly. A limited mind is easier to control than an empowered one. A limited mind. Chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8 yesterday, we talked a lot about this. A limited mind. Easier to control than a mind that being empowered, knowing what to do. striving for what he wanted or she wanted in life. Such people, we said yesterday, in their own race in life, they stand alone because of the mentality they carry. What has been affecting them, the moment they come up about the liberation information, they started shifting away from negativity. They started shifting away from limitation. Such people stand alone mentally. A lot of people call it pride until they see the results of them standing alone and doing focus on what they are going, where they are going in life. We said it yesterday. So throughout history, systems have functioned best when people doing some of the things I want to mention now. System has functioned better when people doing some of these things I'm about to mention. When people do not question authority, anything goes. Whatsoever comes their way, whatsoever the authority gives to them, the government of the country, the way the government, it goes. They never questioned it. Accept scarcity as normal. Accept scarcity as normal, as norms. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And they continue with that. They agree with that. Accept scarcity as normal. Believe their role is fixed. They never question authority. They accept scarcity as normal. They believe their role is fixed. The average life they have been living, the cage they have been putting into, they see it as normal. They never do anything to change the narration. And depend rather than innovate. You need to start from the first video in order to have more information about what it is, and you pick up the book. This book is not a book you are going to read only one time. It's a book you are going to read time from time just to remind yourself what you are capable of. It's going to bring out something in you, and it's going to let you know who exactly you are, the capacity inside of you. And this is not conspiracy. It is a pattern. It is a pattern. It is a pattern. I move on. Education systems and obedience. We are going somewhere very deep. You can't afford not to pick this book and read. This chapter 9 of this book examines education. Not to dismiss it. Education is good. But are we doing it in the right way? But to expose the imbalance in the educational system all over the world. No, as told you, this book is not restricted to one particular region or color. It's a global thing. Many school systems across the world were designed during colonial and industrial eras, where the goal was not freedom of thought, but my God, this is too deep. Many school systems across the world were designed during colonial and industrial eras, where the goal was not freedom of thought, but compliance and productivity. It's never designed to let people be free in their thinking. That is why you cannot be taught a lot of things in school. You have to self-dictate information, empower yourself with some skills. They will not. Most of the things that school formal education is going to teach you is all about obedience, compliance. Then you finish and carry file and be looking for a job. It's never taught, teaches you how to be free in your thoughts. If you are not careful, never taught you how to be innovative. As philosopher, a reference now, as philosopher John Taylor Gatto, in New York, former New York State Teacher of the Year, famously argued something. And what is that? He says and said, schools teach how to obey orders, accept boredom, and live without meaningful purpose. My God, this is too deep. A teacher of the year saying this, he has seen in depth. Are we saying education is not good? No, don't get it wrong. Is education in the classroom is going to teach you everything? No, that is where we are going. The system of education design in around the world, does it teach you how to be free in your thought? No, these are the things we are tackling. And this chapter of the book referenced this idea to show early conditioning trains people to what? Yes, the chapter referenced this idea to show how early conditioning trained people to wait for instruction. School. Fear mistakes as if failure is the end of the world. They are not teaching you how to take risk. Seek approval instead of mastering. Before you can leap, somebody have to give you go ahead. How? Why? Because a mind trained only to follow struggles to lead itself. We are still talking about capturing people's mind, controlling people's mind. A mind trained only to follow struggles to lead itself or herself. Such people, how can they be innovative? So you see where this book is saying most of these things a lot of people inherited, afflicted with, is not self-mistake. It wasn't their mistake. But this book is here to open your heart to see a lot of hidden truth, invisible prisons they put people. So I continue. Economy dependency and mental dependency. What are the meaning of this? This chapter 9 of the book then draws a powerful parallel between economic aid and mental dependency. I mentioned this in chapter 5 and 6, I think. Aid can be necessary, support can be helpful, but when assistance is not paired with skill, ownership, and independency, it quietly trains people to expect rescue instead of capacity. Please, you need a book, a small jotter and pen. You need to jot some things down. And you paste them on the wall in your house or in your office. You see it, you read it every day, it blow up your mind. It reshape your thinking. But when assistance is not paired with skill, ownership, and independency, it quietly trains people to expect rescue instead of capacity. The chapter echoes ideas similar to those expressed by Thomas Sowell, another reference now, who warned that what? That policies that reward failure and punish success will always produce more failure. Policies that reward failure and punish success will always produce more failure. The issue is not help. The issue is help without empowerment. What is the purpose of such? What is the point of helping you every day without empowering you? They want you to keep coming back. How can you be yourself? How can you grow in life? They made you to be dependent. Without them, you can't be nothing. So that is the reason why this book is telling you the issue is not the help now they are giving to you, but the issue is help without empowerment. What is the point? Classroom that cannot teach you how to be wealthy only teaches you formal education, read, write, carry your file, look for a job. So that environment benefits someone, but really it represents. Really. So I continue. Media, narrative, and identity. 3 different words now. Media, narratives, and identity. What about this? Another major section of this chapter 9, explore narrative control. It's still about control. Who controls the story people believe about themselves? Who is that person that is holding the remote of their life, that is playing it and making them feel this is the normal way the script should play out? Who exactly doing this? Who controls it? If a group is constantly portrayed as needing savings, being behind, being inferior, being victims without agency, over time, that group may internalize the story because this is what surrounding them. They are being controlled by this idea, by this thought. As a psychologist, somebody I'm referring to now, as a psychologist, Frank Feno wrote in a Blaskin book, White Marks. The name of the book is Blaskin, White Marks. Says something. The colonized mind begin to see itself through the eyes of the colonizer. It is too deep, my God. The colonized mind, a mind that is captured, begin to see he or herself through the eyes of the colonizer. This is too deep. The chapter 9 of this book is too deep. And this chapter using this reference, not to assign blame to anybody, not to mock, not to laugh at anybody, but to highlight how identity narratives shape ambition. If you believe you are behind by nature, you will never run at full speed. If everything about you, your thought is limitation, you cannot be more than that. It's not possible. I told you yesterday, nobody has the power to change it, not even God. Because God will let you be how you want to be because you are satisfied. So if you believe you are behind by nature because of where you are, because of your skin color, because of where you have been given birth to, you will never run at full speed. Not possible. Yeah, we continue. So I said I'm going back to that, the question I asked when we are starting this review for today, this chapter 9. I said, who profit from low expectation? Because this chapter 9 asks both questions. Who benefit when people underestimate themselves? When people underestimate themselves, who benefit from this? When people set low goals. When people set low goals. When people fear excellence. When people avoid ownership. Who are the people that benefit from such? The answer is uncomfortable. It's not always comfortable, you know. People don't like truth. Low expectation produces. These are the things that the low expectation will produce. Cheap labor, predictable consumers, non-disruptive populations, minimal resistance to poor leadership. This does not require evil intent. No, It only requires silence and continuation. And silence is often mistaken for peace. Silence is always mistaken for peace. It's not that the person is so peaceful. No, 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 no. That is why it's so sad. No, sometimes some people, peace has been taken away from them. Lack of confidence. Some people, because they cannot take some drastic decisions. So we continue. I said the answer is not always. It's always uncomfortable. So low expectation produce cheap labor, predictable consumers, a not disruptive population, minimal resistance to poor leadership. This does not require evil intent at all. It only requires silence and continuation. And I said silence is often mistakenly for peace. So mental liberation is disruptive. Yes. So this chapter 9 emphasizes that mental freedom is disruptive. A person who thinks independently questions systems that is not working. Such person will question it. Seek skill over sympathy. Build instead of waiting for help that doesn't have any productivity, that doesn't empower people. And such person refuses inherited ceilings. The roller coaster, the circle system of how they have been living, where they come from. This is how things has been done. Average limitation lifestyle. You understand? So this kind of person is harder to control. Such person cannot be tossing up and down. This is why mental liberation is often discouraged, like we are doing with this book now. People don't want that. They don't want people to be free, especially those that are controlling the minds of people. So this is why mental liberation is often discouraged, mocked, or labeled as unrealistic. But every major shift in history began with uncomfortable thinkers. So responsibility returns to the individual. Now, here is where chapter 9 is balanced and honest. This is the area. Responsibility returns to the individual. After exposing systems, narratives, and conditioning, the chapter makes something very clear to the reader, to the listener. Awareness removes excuses. If you are aware of your environment, of what you can do for yourself, aware of skill you need to attain, aware of what is happening around the world, you will know geographical area does not determine your growth. You will know you need to empower yourself. You need to add value for yourself in order to get to where you are going in life. And you will know sometimes comfort is very risky. And it can be a trap sometimes. So awareness removes excuses. Once you see the pattern, responsibility returns to you. You may not have chosen the belief you inherited, but you are responsible for the belief you continue to carry. You are not to be blamed because you are not informed. You are not aware. But what of now that you know? Will you continue in that same way of living? Will you continue with that self-thought of limitation? Now that you are aware, now that you have been told, now that the information is open to you, you may not have chosen the beliefs you inherited, but you are responsible to the belief, for the belief you continue to carry from now on. And this chapter 9, same chapter 9, states something. Freedom begins the day you stop asking who is responsible and you start asking what is required. The day You stop asking that question. Who is responsible for that? Who is responsible for this? But instead, you start asking what is required to get to that post, to achieve that purpose, to achieve that aim. What skill is required? What information do I need? What did I need to acquire to get it done? The day you stop asking who is responsible and you start asking what is required, that means it shows you are ready. Something has shifted. And let me quickly round up. I don't want it to be more than the time we usually do it. So skill is the new location. It's not geographical environment now. Skill is the new location now. You go everywhere with it. You are a mobile carrier of that value. Wherever you find yourself, you are there. You can do something. You cannot be relegated. You cannot be enslaved. You cannot be given what is not yours, because you carry something and your mindset is quite different. You know some things you are not meant to do some jobs. You know yourself because of what you carry. So this chapter 9 reinforces one of the core message of this book. I told you it's about 16 chapter, about 222 pages, but exposes a lot of things. In the modern world where we are today, skill travels faster than geography. It travels faster than history, faster than passport. Skills. You can be somewhere and be earning money in another place because you are skillful. Because the value you carry is needed elsewhere. Not necessarily when you get there, before you can pass your value or they can benefit from what you carry. So that is why this word is coming, that skill travels faster than geography. In this modern world, everything is easy. Knowledge, competence, and adaptability open doors that border cannot close. Who is going to refuse you visa if at all you needed visa? You are in Kenya, you want to render a service in Canada. If you don't need to go there, your physical appearance sometimes does not matter. You can still pass your value via the internet. You can be virtual. It's not necessary you go to embassy and queue, which you are not even sure of visa. It does not matter. But does that stop you from earning from there? No. Because you are a global skill carrier. You are global in your thinking. You are not limited. Yes. So knowledge, competence, and adaptability open doors that borders cannot close. That is why a skilled person in a poor environment can rise. An unskilled person in a rich environment can fall. You see the narration. You see that comparison. A skilled person in a poor environment can rise, because it does not allow the environment to determine what it can become in life. But an unskilled person, even when he's thrown inside in the Buckingham Palace or in White House in America, he can still fall because he's unskilled. No value. So location amplifies ability. It does not replace it. It only amplifies it. It can't replace it. It can't replace who you are. It can't add to your knowledge. You don't know it, you don't know it. You don't have it, you can't give it. So let me close with this for the day. Then tomorrow, by the grace of God, is going to be another day. We continue. So this chapter 9 of the book leaves us with a challenge, not comfort. It challenges us. It's not pampering us. It leaves us with challenge, not comfort. Ask yourself honestly some questions. Ask yourself these questions. Who benefits if I stay small? Is to whose advantage? Ask yourself that honest question and find an answer to it. Who benefits if I doubt myself, write that question, ask yourself, and you make sure you find an answer. Who benefits if I never build capacity? It's of who benefit. And then ask the most important question yet. Still ask yourself, what happens if I don't? Such person will remain pauper. Such person will remain miserable. Such person will just remain on the ground. Ask yourself those questions, write them out, and make sure you give an answer to them. So this book exists to return power to the individual mind. This is not just the content. No, it's not one of those just the content. No, this is generational liberation. Years to come, people will benefit from this. Because a lot of people is going to come across this and it's going to change their own life. And they continue in the right path with the generation after them. It should not be like roller coaster as it used to be again. Because they are not informed. These are the reason, was the reason why they find themselves in that limitation stage. But now, liberation is coming to them. This book exists to return power to the individual mind. Not through anger, no. Not through blame, no. But through clarity, responsibility, and action. All this information, don't just hear them and keep them. Act on them. If this chapter stirred something in you, that is not coincident at all. It means you are ready to think differently. That's the meaning. You are ready to think differently. And once you think, and once your thinking changes, everything else must eventually follow. When it starts from here, it's going to show in your output. It plays out. It starts from here, you see it in your output. It plays out. It starts from here, you see it in your disposition. It's 100% is going to play out. It's going to play out. So that is going to be the end of today's reading, the review of this book. But I will be closing with a remarks. I say, if today's conversation challenged you, that is not by accident. This book was written for moments like this. Moment when something inside you realizes that staying the same is no longer an option. Poverty of the Mind is not a book you read once and forget. No, it is a mirror. And don't forget, I told you, mirror tells you the truth you cannot change. You can only argue with it. You cannot doubt it. It's the truth, whether you like it or not. Mirror shows you the truth, tells you the truth. So this book, it is a mirror. And once you see yourself clearly, you cannot unsee it. How? You know what you are able to do. You know what you are capable of doing. If you are tired of repeating the cycles, if you are tired of inherited limitations, if you are tired of blaming systems without building skill, then this book is for you. So what can I do? I encourage you to get your own copy. $1 book. $1. And it's for a purpose. Why we make it $1? I just encourage you to get yours. The link will be posted on the video. I think we have it on the description of the day 1 or day 2 or something. Subsequently, I will be putting the link in another video. So I encourage you to get a copy today, not tomorrow, not when you have time. Growth does not wait for anybody, and time does not wait either. The price is intentionally low because the cost of ignorance is far higher than the cost of knowledge. So read this book, study it, discuss it with friends, your family, and community. And if this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Don't forget, I said we are targeting 10,000 lives to start with. 10,000 copies of this book is the target. 10,000 lives to be imparted. Then it spread like a wire. 10,000 families. You know what that means? So share this live stream to somebody. You might not need it. Somebody needs it. Share with that person. Don't be stingy about this information you have had. Invite someone who needs this conversation. Be the interruption in someone else's inherited thinking. Help the person, help a brother, help a sister. And subscribe to this channel. A lot of goodies are still coming. Impactful content. Not for motivation, not for entertainment. No, to change lives. Turn on notification and stay with us. On this journey we are embarking on. We've already embarked because it's get deeper, more honest, and more transformative from here. Every day is fresh. And changing your location won't change your life. Note it. Don't forget. Changing your thinking will. Thank you for being here. See you on the next section. Like I always say, cheers to better future and bye for now. Cheers.